Let's face it, if you're watching a review on a digital night vision device, you probably aren't looking for something to clear buildings at 2 a.m. in Fallujah. Hopefully. Digital night vision technology just isn't at that level yet. It's better suited for tactical egg collecting, for now. Some of the higher end digital devices are getting pretty good, but they still don't beat traditional analog devices like the humble PVS-14. Today I'll be reviewing a device on the budget end of the digital spectrum, the NVG 40. This is the cheapest mainstream digital night vision monocular on the market. At less than 200 bones for the base model, the only thing that comes close is the Nightfox Prowl series. If you were thinking about buying one or the other and don't know which to get, or you were curious on how the least expensive digital unit performs, I hope this video helps you. We'll start with the user interface. I'll use this phone to scope adapter because the icons don't show up in the onboard recorded footage. Keep in mind that the unit will actually look better in person because this way of recording degrades the image slightly. Alright, so we'll go over the buttons and the functions of the device, starting with the battery. The battery level indicator in the top left corner, obviously telling you the amount of battery left in the device. This is a rechargeable battery only. It's not easy to replace this without major disassembly. It's a USB-C rechargeable battery. In the top middle there, it'll tell you which recording mode you're in, whether it be video recording, picture mode, or what we'll get into later, which is watching videos and looking at pictures. And then the top right is the actual SD card indicator, telling you if you've got an SD card in there or not. The device has 5 buttons. First being the IR plus. If you press it, it turns on a level of IR. If you see there, IR 1 on the bottom, and it says 940. 940 being 940 nanometers is the wavelength of the IR light. And you could actually switch that by holding the second button, which is the OK button. If you hold it, it'll switch from 940 to 850. The 850 is a stronger light. It'll consume more battery, so there's that to keep in mind. We'll test that more when we get to the night vision part. You press plus, you go higher and higher with the IR output. Now if you press the minus button, you'll actually reduce the level of IR. If you hold the IR plus button, it'll actually start to zoom. 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. It gets all the way up to 4 times zoom. Not sure how well you can see that in the bottom left corner there. So that's holding the IR plus button. If you hold the IR minus button, it'll actually back out the zoom. If you press the OK button in the middle, it starts recording. Or if you're in picture mode, it'll take a picture. You'll know it's recording because of the little red circle right next to the camera icon at the top center there. So you press it again, stops recording. And then if you hold the OK button, like we said, it'll switch from 850 to 940 or vice versa. Then you have the power button in the bottom left. That turns it on and off, obviously. And you have the mode button, which I'm about to press now. If you press it, at the top center, you'll see it changes from video mode to picture mode. When you press it again, it'll actually let you watch the video that you just recorded by pressing OK. This is not live. This is actually a video that we just recorded. Okay, so we're back to live again by pressing mode. Now if you hold the mode button, it'll take you to the menu. I won't go too deep into the menu, as it's just basic admin settings like brightness, recorded video resolution, language, and setting the time and date. But I'll let it play out for those who want to see it. I bought this unit secondhand, so it didn't come with a mount. This one is off of a Nightfox Prowl with 2 washers to make it snug. Just ignore that. It's also missing the rubber eyepiece. It's supposed to help stop light from shining back on your face at night by creating a seal around your eye. It doesn't hurt the operation of the unit to omit using it. In the very back, you have the diopter to set the screen visual to your specific eye. Above that, the rubber seal that protects the USB charging port, SD card, and the indicator LED light that lets you know the unit's on. Up top, we got the buttons we went over in the last shot. And up front, the IR emitters. Turn the front eyepiece wheel to focus on an object at a particular distance to make it clear. On the bottom, there's a 1/4 inch female thread to accept tripod mounts for stationary observation, which I think this device is pretty well suited for. It's a little longer and bulkier than a PVS-14, and a bit heavier too. The eyepiece is also quite a bit smaller, which is probably why its field of view sucks, as we'll see in the next test. For the FOV field of view test, I've got 2 propane tanks and a torso-sized steel target set up about 10 feet apart and 65 feet away. The tree on the far left is also spaced about 10 feet from the first propane tank. As you can see, the 25.8 degree field of view of the NVG-40 makes it so you can barely fit the tree and 2 tanks in the shot at one time. On the other hand, the PVS-14 fits the tree, both tanks, and the steel plate no problem. Another thing to keep in mind is that the recorded footage of the NVG-40 is seen in a 45.8 degree field of view. This means that what you see through the device's point of view is not what you'll get on camera. Notice how in the recorded footage you can see the tree, both tanks, and the steel target all at once, just like the PVS-14. Now we're on to the staircase. There's an eye chart taped to a door about 7 yards away. From my point of view, I can only see the trim around the door. The black dot to the far left and doorknob to the far right are not visible through the eyepiece. Here I'll zoom into the eye chart to test how useful the digital zoom is. Notice how the second to last row gets clearer the more powerful the IR illumination I put out there. I'm in the same staircase now, only now I'm looking up towards the unit as the light points in my direction. From 7 yards away in pitch darkness, the 940 nanometer light is pretty hard to see with the unaided eye. The 850 nanometer, on the other hand, is pretty bright. For the field test, I went out on 2 separate nights. On the left, a 9% illumination night, and on the right, 100% full moon. Both nights are partly cloudy, and both were around 10 p.m. and 2 weeks apart. As you can hopefully see, even on the darkest of nights, and without IR illumination, the NVG-40 is better than your unaided eyes. For the budget price point, the passive performance is pretty impressive. In both 940 and 850 nanometers, the full moon night looks much brighter. I like coming to the railroad for these tests because it gives you an idea of how far you can see. The right image is a lot less grainy. Stepping off of the wide open train tracks and looking into an open canopy forest where the stream of water runs through, you can see again, the image is much brighter on the full moon night. You can almost make out the little details like ripples in the water and blades of grass moving. Like we saw in the eye chart footage, increasing the IR illumination decreases the graininess of the image. There's a big difference between the left and the right here with the log across the stream. Next location will demonstrate how it looks inside a heavily wooded area with leaf cover on a full moon night. So despite it being a full moon, the leaves on the trees are growing back. It's early May, so we're getting very little moonlight into the actual woods. It's dark. While the image of the NVG-40 is certainly brighter than what my eyes can see without any night vision, all the static and peppering makes the image almost unusable. This is without any IR illumination. We'll cycle it now. Alright, so there goes the tree that fell down. This side of the little creek there is 20 yards. So the bike is about 20 yards away. There's the bag. And there's the tree we're going to take aim for. I do believe the NVG-40 is a great trainer for guys wanting to get into analog, but want to start shooting under nods now. It's cheap enough that it won't set you back too much, and it'll help you get the fundamentals down. Unfortunately, passive aiming, meaning aiming through the red dot sight and not actively putting out IR emissions, isn't intuitive with this device. You can't see your target when it's dark and you don't have the device's IR on, but you can see your red dot. But if you turn on the device's IR, the light bounces back off of the glass of the red dot because of the way you align your NVG to your eye to the red dot. Active aiming is the workaround. A strong IR laser and illuminator on your pea shooter of choice is a must for this to work. There it is, the laser from the PEC 15. It's bloomed out a little bit, but you could use it for active aiming should the need arise. Here I'm recording what it looks like to navigate with this thing. It's tough. I mean, I'm walking right on the train tracks and it barely picks up the span of the tracks there. The field of view really hinders the ability to use this while moving. Alright, so we're in the wooded area and it's dark, really dark. I would not be able to walk without some sort of illumination at this point. I'm gonna go IR 1, IR 2, 3, 4. For video's sake, I'm gonna walk with IR 4. What I want to do is, and I'm gonna try to keep it as steady as possible, see how feasible it is to walk with this thing. And although I can see, for some reason I can't shine my feet there, but although I can see the path in front of me pretty clearly and I'm confident walking forward with this thing, I can't see really anything to my sides. All I could see is the path itself, and I'm a little nervous about anything to the sides, like a branch sticking out left or right. So I'm gonna say no. Like see here, the road kind of turns, and if I don't stay on it, I lose it. So the NVG 40, I'm not very comfortable walking with it. It was a lot better with the Swift, the Nightfox Swift. You had a bigger field of view. So this is going to be a no-go for navigating. Final thoughts, starting with the bad. My main issue with the NVG 40 is the poor field of view. The footage at the beginning of the video with the propane tanks doesn't do it justice of how bad it really is. It is extremely difficult to walk indoors with it because you don't get much of a visual awareness of what's under or directly next to you. Outdoors is a little bit more manageable if it's a clear open space, but even then, it kinda sucks. I can see using this for static observation, hunting, or flat range shooting, but anything that involves movement, in my opinion, is a no-go. Then there's the obvious issue that's potentially a non-issue depending on your use case, which is that being that this is a digital night vision device, it relies on active IR illumination to see in the extreme dark. Another person with night vision can see your IR light emissions whether they have analog or digital, so it's something to keep in mind. Another con to this unit is the onboard video recording has an annoying lag or freeze to it when you're watching back recorded footage, which could cause you to miss something you were trying to record. I wish there was an IR 0 mode so we can see IR pollution from a weapon mounted light or laser without the device putting out its own IR light. This would allow for passive aiming through a red dot and the ability to scan for other NVG users stealthily. The NVG 40 cannot see IR lights or lasers unless it's actively emitting either 940 or 850 in levels 1 through 4. The Nightfox Swift 1 that I reviewed did that right in my opinion. It has modes 0 through 7, 0 allowing you to see IR emissions without the device actively putting out any of its own. Final small nitpick before we talk about the good is that this device, as well as a lot of other budget digital NVGs, have nowhere to attach retention bungee to keep it from falling to the ground if it comes loose off your helmet mount. I didn't drop test it, but based off of its feel, I'm not confident it would survive a fall from helmet height. It's not all bad though, as it's got some redeeming qualities. Like the battery life I had no issues with, as it's lasted me 4 hours in mixed illumination levels and never dropped the battery bar. One of my favorite things of the NVG40 is the circular display in the eyepiece versus the NVG30 or 50 square display. The roundness looks and feels more analog-esque. I do like the option for tripod mounting, and its button layout is pretty simple and easy to remember. In conclusion, I'm not a big fan, to be honest. I've never tested the Prowl series, which are the closest competitors as far as price and monocular design, but what I can say is, knowing what I know now about the NVG40, I would rather have taken a chance on the Prowl 2 for its increased field of view. Luckily for me, the NVG40 isn't my main squeeze, and I always have fun testing all types of night vision and thermals, so it's not the end of the world. Hope this video helped you, or was at least entertaining. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This tree's got a bunch of like silky web looking things. Cocoons maybe? They're full of little caterpillar or grub looking things. Pretty neat. I would hate to walk into that not knowing that it was there.